Can the young heroes of the Champions escape the twisted fantasy madness that is Weirdworld before it's all too late and regain their memories along the way? Well, let's hop into the pages of Champions issue number 27 and find out for ourselves, shall we? Alrighty then, so as we join the comic, Eldridge Knight Sam Alexander is leading Master of the World's army to the Crystal Maze, home of the Crystal Warriors. For you see, whosoever should control the power of the crystals will control all of Weirdworld. Now in a flashback, we're given a little bit more insight into how exactly Sam got this way. We discover that when he showed up in Weirdworld, like the other members of his team, he had amnesia. He was found by Master of the World, at the time posing as Lord Inshu, who decided to use this as an opportunity to gain power in the realm. You see, while Sam may have lost his Nova powers when his helmet was taken from him by Scott Adsit, in Weirdworld though, he discovered he had magic powers. In fact, one of the cool little ideas Jim Zub runs through in this issue is the idea that all of the different fantasy personas that the Champion members had taken up because their memories were gone are actual reflections of the issues they were dealing with back in the real world. Case in point, Sam felt weak and helpless after losing his Nova helmet, and because of that he went out of his way in this world to make himself the most powerful guy ever, even if that guy turned out to be a bad guy. Now the rest of the Champions show up to reinforce the Crystal Warriors, and for a second there it looks like they might actually be able to push back the villainous forces and win the day. Heck, the heroes do such a good job out of the gate, Lord Inshu being the massive coward and opportunist that he is. He just kinda ups and leaves and gets out of there while the going's good, no doubt to be a thorn in the side of our heroes another day. Sam though will not be deterred, and he figures that if he can't get his hands on the crystals, well, he'll just absorb all the power into himself, even if it ends up killing him, and especially if it ends up killing everyone around him. Riri desperately tries to reach out to him and remind Sam of the life he had outside of Weirdworld, and we discover that she too is actually dealing with a lot of her own trauma, still being terrorized by the vision of Thanos breaking her original armor. No doubt that's why in Weirdworld she subconsciously took the form of a brave and noble paladin, because, well, on the inside she's still dealing with a bunch of PTSD. With Riri frozen in place, it's actually Viv Vision who steps on up and saves the day with, I have to admit, one of the most clever and interesting things I've ever seen. She ghosts inside the Ironheart armor. In doing so, essentially combining the two, this allows Vision to actually siphon off a bunch of the crystal power for herself, which proves to be exactly what they need to break the spell over the rest of the Champions and return their memories to them. Understandably, once Nova is back to himself, Sam is pretty upset that he killed a bunch of Crystal Warriors, even if he wasn't himself when he did it. Luckily, Crystal Warriors can just be cobbled back together, so no harm, no foul. The team also buries the hatchet with Man-Thing this issue. You'll recall he was the one who pretty much got them into this situation by opening a rogue portal. When the team does manage to make it back home, they decide to hit up Sam Alexander's family first. It's been forever since his mother and sister have seen him, and they're rightly so pretty excited that he's home. The rest of the team decompresses. They learned a lot in Weirdworld. In fact, Viv learned something interesting about herself as she tries to kiss Riri, saying, "Hey, we got really close together, huh? Wasn't that nice?" Only to be rebuked by Ironheart, who basically says, "Hey, Viv, I love you to death, but I don't love you like that." Ooh, man, it's gonna be awkward around the common area for the next little bit, isn't it? Now, robotic sapphic erotica aside, as the comic winds down, it's actually Viv's dog that ends up getting infected by some strange robot that's been skulking around the Champions Mobile Command Center for a few issues now. Want to see where this story goes? Well, pick up the new issue number 1 coming soon. And so that was Champions issue number 27, everybody, and overall I really loved this issue and I really loved this arc. It was a fantasy epic for all ages that balanced teen drama with sword and sorcery action. You could tell Jim Zub had an absolute blast writing this issue, and I think overall stories like this prove that these characters are in very good hands with Zub and that he has no endless supply of fun and interesting situations and dynamics for the future. I hope now that they're offering a fresh start with a new number 1, more people will want to check this book out. Ultimately though, I think I'd feel comfortable giving this one an 8 out of 10. It was a great time.
Hey there everyone, it's your old pal Cape Joel, and I want to thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, why not check out some of this other comic content I have available for you. Then you can follow me on Twitter and Facebook at Cape Joel, so you're always up to speed on what I'm doing next. And hey, if you're in the market for some comic books for yourself, might I recommend buying your trades through my book depository link down in the description? Not only will you save a bundle by not having to pay anything for shipping shipping or handling, but everything you buy via my link goes to support me and the channel. So you win, I win, everybody wins, right? And until next time, I will be back again with more comic content that smacks of greatness. Bye-bye, everybody.